Awesome. So we are good to go. We are live. Welcome back to another episode of Lunchtime Live. My name is Paul Orlando. I'm with Right at Home. I got my guy Jason Colenso with new venture, Reignite Physical Fitness, and he can touch a little bit more into that if he wants. But we do welcome a very good friend of mine and also my own personal video marketing coach, social media guru. Nick Bonatonomous. He is the owner and founder of Digital Champions. Um, I can only speak for myself, but I know Nick has truly changed the way that we attack social media, and is a huge reason why this podcast is even is existing right now. So Nick brings a wealth of knowledge and experience, not only from the marketing world, but into the social media and video marketing. Um, you know, parts of that as well. So, Nick, if you want to just start off, kind of introduce yourself, kind of give us a little background on how you got started into all this, and the floor is yours.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having me. I love giving an opportunity to share some of my knowledge and insights. So, in short, I help businesses to leverage social media and video marketing. And I got started in this world when I was an intern fresh out of college and worked for a small company called Hurricane Marketing Enterprises and got thrown into this world of small business as well, in this world of marketing and what that meant. And because it was small and a kind of a startup, it forced me to learn as much as I possibly could. So I started watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts, although at that time podcasts weren't really as popular as they are today. But just binge watching as much content as I possibly could, really developing a lot of these skills so that I could, help the company that I was working for grow. And then I started to see all of the amazing things of being a business owner and what that can do. And I wanted to create that for myself. So I launched my own business. And now I actually moved from the Philadelphia area to San Diego. And now I have clients, all over the country, helping them to better leverage this powerful tool that is video and social media marketing. And it is really amazing. And I do love talking about it. I know social media sometimes gets a bad rap, but there are so many incredible benefits.
No, I couldn't agree more. And Nick, I think COVID had a lot to do. I think a lot more people are jumping into the social media platform as a way of building their brand, as a way of building awareness around their company and what they do. And so, did you see a major uptick with COVID, and specifically your industry and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. There was kind of two types of people. The people who were already doing it and we're seeing, it was working well, right? And then now they had to make more adjustments to be more online. But then there was also the people that had no presence and were just, oh my gosh, what do I do now? I just spent all this time doing, direct referral marketing. And now all of a sudden I don't have this, you know, on this presence that I could have before. And now they're trying to like figure out and learn social media. And so if anything, I love what COVID has done, because for one, it's forcing, people are getting more comfortable being on Zoom, because that's where we have all our meetings. So you're naturally being on camera more and more in this space. And what's funny is, right, like when that started to happen, now it's just like this a common thing. Like I was using Zoom before COVID. I loved it. I had
Mhm.
Zoom meetings, but now it's so commonplace that everyone's using it. Yet when you look at like young children, right? They're on the camera, like they're doing TikTok, and then even younger, right? Like kids that can't even talk yet. They like love seeing themselves on video. And so as generational like things go, people are much more going to grow up being much more comfortable on camera than necessarily people in the older generation. But the older generation now is adjusting and has to figure out, hey, all right, this video thing has some merit. How can we start to leverage it? How can we start to utilize it to grow our brands?
No, you're you're absolutely right. And I think one of my friends, she is a school teacher. She teaches third or fourth grade, I forget. But I know when we were growing up, they'd ask you, what do you want to be when you get older? And, we wanted to be professional athletes, or we wanted to be firefighters. We want to be astronauts. And it's so funny now, kids are, I think she said like 80% of her class said, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be, and that's kind of the way the world is going right now. And so it's you got to jump on the wave. You got to jump on the wave now and grab it and take it, because I do think that social media and specifically video marketing is a fantastic tool to build relationships first off, and then to also, get your content out there, get your message out there.
Yeah, and I think people see social media as this like separate entity when realistically it's no different than TV, right? YouTube is just TV. It's just a different way of consuming it. And, TikTok nowadays, right? And whether or not you're familiar, or whether or not you're on it or not, that's how that's how they're spending their time, their entertainment. Rather than watching TV, they're on TikTok. So it's not like it's this whole separate entity. It's just a new replacement for entertainment, for what they're consuming. And it can vary in all different types, whether it's educational content or complete nonsense, right? And so that's, again, up to the content creators and what's being consumed. But at the end of the day, video is not going anywhere. It's just changing on how it's being consumed, and the next step is going to be people consuming 3D into the metaverse, right? And that's like going to be way down the line. We won't go down that rabbit hole, but like video is not going anywhere. People remember Vine, right? Gone, basically, completely gone, but it's still video. TikTok is still video. So utilizing and developing video as a skill set is going to be a tool that can impact you no matter what you do, whatever industry you're in, whatever job you have, whether you're a business owner, whether you're an employee. Like, these are skill sets that we want to develop and use and enhance so that we can use it with everything that we do.
Right. No, I think you're absolutely right. And we could go down a giant rabbit hole in the metaverse and where this whole thing is going. But I think video is just getting started. I think it is a fantastic tool. I know it has completely changed the way I use LinkedIn. It's completely changed the way that I use Facebook. And there are some relationships and some folks that I've met that I can honestly say, without this podcast or without video marketing, without saying like, hey, let's do a video together, we can talk about fall risk prevention, whatever you want to talk about. I don't know if I would have had those relationships form without the use of video marketing and specifically social media as a tool of, just going on LinkedIn and just messaging somebody like, hey, I've seen what you're posting. I absolutely love it. I think there are some synergies between my organization and your organization. Let's get together and try and see if we can help some seniors out. So I can't speak highly enough of it. And then Jay, I'm sure with your Reignite, you are probably using video to record some exercises or even communicate with folks who, you can't be in 5 or 6 gyms at once. You can't be at 5 or 6 exercise, wherever they do their fitness. So video is probably a pretty big tool for you.
Just shy of filming myself actually eating breakfast is basically documenting everything. It's really when and Nick, I was actually going to throw a question at you more on the business side of things, because as someone that is all digital right now, it's a different world when you get digital versus brick and mortar, because a lot of times brick and mortar businesses are based off geography. You are serving, like right at home, like you, Paul, I know you're up in Harford County, so you guys are Harford County. Cool. That is your demographic. When you are all online, it is a totally different animal. It is a wild west. You need to be very specific in the message that you deliver, as well as the content that you provide. And I guess, Nick, the question I have for you based on that is, when do you usually get people in the timelines of business? Do you get people that are just starting and they're like trying to get some ideas flowing, or do you get people that are more seasoned and it's like, just need to touch this up? Or kind of what do you find to be kind of what your average is when you're looking what the people you work with?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think most of the time, well, there's two schools of thought or two avenues of this, because sometimes I have clients that are looking to get started just in the social media element, in which case most of them like don't have much going on, and in some cases, don't even know how to schedule a post to Facebook, right? Hypothetically. But then there's the other element too, where people are coming to me where they want to get started with video, which is a whole different kind of its own realm of exploration into doing things. But for me, it's really about getting started, and I think whether it's getting started in social media or getting started in video, but I think a lot of times, right, I'm helping them with those early stages, but there's such higher complexities that are going on, and I'm just trying to get them started. But
Mhm.
eventually, right, the goal is to get them to a higher level where I can start to teach and coach them on higher level thinking, right? In regards to like, we're not just creating how-to content or content, but we're actually creating strategic content that's designed to get people to convert, to get people
Mhm.
to think differently, right? To explain how we can integrate stories into our videos. Like, how can we create more engaging videos, right? But so often it's like, I just want you to put your face on camera, say hello, and introduce yourself, right? And the
Yep.
amazing things that can happen when you just do that, which I
Mhm.
think is so awesome. Like, especially in the social media world, so many people don't even know what you do. Like, and Paul, you mentioned like LinkedIn, right? And I think it's such a funny space because more often than not, most of your LinkedIn connections, you probably have no idea what they actually do. And a simple post on like reminding, hey, this is what I do, can have amazing results in how you just like re-engage your audience and actually post to these platforms. Because only about, I think it's like 10% of people, maybe less, are like actually, I think it might actually be like 1%. I'm trying to remember what the stat is, like actually post content to social media. Be different.
Right.
Post. Like,
Mhm.
we're not even talking about the whole strategy and what to post and how to post. Like, just post, because
Mhm.
so many people aren't even doing that.
No, I think I think you're exactly right, and that is half the battle is just posting. I know when I first started with you, Nick, it took me a bit just to make my first video, and a part of it was nerves, a part of it was whatever. But you're so right. You just have to just jump right in and do it and post. It can't hurt, it can only, you reintroducing yourself. I know we talked about that at one of our last coaching calls. It's just reintroducing yourself and how far that can go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think people, when it comes to video, right, there's just a lot of things that they think about in worrying about what people are going to say. But the thing is, the majority of people are going to admire you for putting yourself out there. And
Yep.
like, that's the thing, because most people are not even willing to do that. And so they're not so much judging you, being like, oh my gosh, you said and like a bunch of times, or your hair was in a weird place, or the lighting was off. They're not thinking about that. They're not worried about that kind of stuff, because they're more so admiring you for being willing to do something that they weren't even willing to do. And then the idea, when it comes to anything, right? Anything that you've ever done in your life, were you amazing at it when you first did it? Did you just hop on a two-wheel bike, just cruising down, going off ramps? No, you had to have training wheels, and then you took the training wheels off, and then you fall off a few times, right? And you're struggling. You have guidance. You have people helping you, and so video and being comfortable on video, being confident on video, exceeding and excelling on video comes from doing it, from practice. And so if we're not willing to be bad, we're never going to be great. So we have to be willing to be seen bad so that we can get good, and then we can be great. And this goes with anything and everything that we do. So if you say, oh, I'm not good at video, or I'm not good at social media, yeah, well, you haven't done it.
Right.
So put in
Mhm.
the reps.
Yeah. No, I think it's like anything in life, and I think you said it perfectly. And I love that everybody starts the first time you do something, you're not going to be great. You might not even be good. You're probably going to be bad. And so with that being said, what would you say to somebody watching right now who is a little gun shy, who is a little nervous about getting into video marketing? What would you kind of say to them to just motivate them and get them to just jump in and do it?
Yeah. So the one thing I always share, right, is a lot of times when we're thinking about creating video, and this is aspect is internal. Oh, what are people going to say about me? What are people going to think about me? Are people going to judge me? Right? All of these things, all these internal things that we think about. And so my advice to you is to think about the content that you're sharing and how it can help somebody. Right? And in many cases, right, with a lot of my home care clients, when you think about, for example, fall prevention, right? And Paul, you touched on fall prevention earlier, right? You teach somebody about fall prevention and how, hey, look around your home, check for carpets that can be tripped on, make sure that you install grab bars into the bathroom, right? These things that are super important that can literally save lives based on somebody learning this information, because people don't know this. They don't know that about the industry, right? And it's a whole thing, right? On what people don't know. And therefore, you have an opportunity to make a massive impact. And so if you share something that helps one person, like, is that not worth it? Is that not worth it to help that one person, right? That's the goal, right? We want to create an impact on this world. We want to help people. We want to grow our businesses. We want to grow our brands. So if we can kind of think about what can happen instead of worrying about the negative, like, what's the best thing that could happen? Oh, well, maybe I make a video and then a bunch of people watch it. It brings a bunch of new clients. I help somebody to make a better decision. I help somebody to do something that they didn't know existed before, to get the help that they need to solve a problem that they have, right? That's what we're in. No matter what business you do, we're in the business of solving problems. And so this one video could completely help somebody to solve a problem, to make an impact on their life. And in turn, it's going to come back to you.
1,000%, man. Pay it forward, putting it out there, trying to, really spread your message, because, and I concur with that. Like, what you know, somebody else doesn't. And plus, nobody else is you. We all have a story and we all have a personal connection to whatever it is that we do. So that accompanies a lot of the, the processes as well. It's just who you are as a person is what you build your brand upon. And going back to like the gun shy thing and being camera shy. And I know for me personally, I've done video. So my friends and I used to make, and I'm aging myself. So back in high school in 2003, we made like a slew of videos, like, Jackass improv skits. And it's like 3 hours of a compilation after editing. So it's a mammoth of a beast of a video. But since then, I've just been, comfortable with the idea of just popping on and just being, goofy or just throwing it out there. Do you, Nick, have anything when you have your clients? Is there any like particular challenges? Because I've heard of like go make 100 live videos, do 100 consecutive lives or something like that. Is there anything that you any little nuggets that you like to throw at them with that regard, at least with building consistency?
Yeah. So, a lot of it is that getting comfortable. And so putting in the reps is extremely helpful. I'm actually going to be hosting like a confidence video challenge, which is a similar aspect, right? Where you're just consistently creating content. But I think the biggest thing is just getting comfortable. So it's like, I forget what the technique is called, but it's like mirroring or shadow boxing, which you've heard, with boxing, right? Like the people they go in the mirror and they, kind of do that practice, right? So the same thing can be done in video, is just talking in front of a mirror or in front of a camera. You don't have to hit publish, right? Because that's the thing that you're worried about. You're worried about what people are going to say when you post it. No one is afraid of the camera. No one's afraid of video. They're afraid of what people are going to say when you share that video with other people. That's why they have no problem jumping on a one-on-one Zoom call. Nobody cares, right? Oh, it's not being recorded. You're just talking to one person. And so it's this idea that when we can just think about all right, we're just having a conversation with somebody else. What we're doing right here is video. We're just having a conversation, just happens to be recorded, happens to be going live. But we have conversations every single day. And so, you know, one of the things that you can start to do if you do want to create some content is utilizing like Instagram stories, or LinkedIn used to have the stories. And I think they actually got rid of it. But it's like, it's this idea of just starting to get comfortable. And so if you do something every single day, and actually this is one of my favorite things to do, and this is a great way to get practice, right? So one thing that I do is I send video messages to people. And I love this because people are not used to getting video messages. So when do you send a video message? All right. First thing. All right. So a lot of times I do it for birthdays. Maybe someone buys a house, maybe they have a kid, maybe they get married, anything like that. Right. And this started from a personal aspect. I do send it from a business aspect too to people, but I really just started doing it for a personal aspect. There was no intention behind it. There was no goal. Oh, let me get some sales from this. Like, these are my friends. Like, these are my family members. And basically I would just record a video and I would say, hey, their name, right? Obviously it's a personalized message. I would tell them how much I appreciate them, right? And I would be specific on what I appreciate them for. Something that they've done, how they've impacted, how they supported me. Maybe it's like, they helped me during a difficult time, whatever it may be, right? And then you end it again, hey, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. A lot of times a birthday, I'm like, oh, make sure that you eat some good food and spend it with good people. That's like my kind of like saying that I say in a lot of them, because that's what you want with the birthday. But what's so amazing is I get such an incredible response where people can't believe that I took the time to make this video, which on average, this takes me 45 seconds to do. 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Right?
And it makes the world of impact. Yep. And so whether or not you're leveraging this with your personal, whether or not you're leveraging their business, which is an amazing business tool, right? From sales calls to relationship building and just like sending a personalized message. Because again, people aren't doing this. I mean, the amount of responses that I get where people go, Nick, I can't believe you sent me a video, right? But it makes a difference and it helps you to get that practice. And you're not so worried about how you look because it's only going to one person. You're not so worried about how it says, only going to one person, but it's going to help you get that reps. And it's going to be something that you can use to leverage whether or not you're using it in your business. I teach this with a lot of my home care clients, right? It's like you can send videos to caregivers, referral sources, like, any employees, right? People that you just want to show appreciation for is going to help them to feel happier, brighten up their day, right? So get in the reps, and this is a great way to kind of do it that also has some strategic value to it as well.
No, I absolutely love that, Nick. And it's so unique. You're right. Not many people are doing that, but I think my initial thought is when Thanksgiving time comes around, take your referral sources and just say, hey, Thanksgiving's around the corner. I'm feeling really thankful. I'm so appreciative of what you all do for the clients that we share. And boom. And it's not like, sending an edible arrangement or sending cookies or whatever. It's not that isn't, valuable to them, but that personalized message, I think, goes so much more than, just the standard, here's a pumpkin pie or whatever. So I absolutely love that. So we're getting more towards the end. So I would be remiss, Nick, if I did not ask you, Digital Champions is creating a new awesome little piece of business that has to do with video marketing. I didn't know if you want to touch on that aspect of things.
Not right now, because right now it's going to be it's exclusive to members in my community only.
Okay. No, that is totally
fun. I appreciate the opportunity for the plug. I mean, I love it.
No, I just feel privileged that I am a member and I know about it. So I will
I don't know if you're going to be a member for very much longer, Paul.
Yeah, right. I would have just got kicked out.
We can confidential information out there for 600 million people on LinkedIn to hear about.
Yes.
So, I don't know, man.
It might become public. We'll see. But right now I'm keep it private within the community, and it's a nice little caveat to being a member in my community that you get.
No problem.
This exclusive offering that you guys are all like, what are they talking about? Oh my gosh. Doesn't it just build? Aren't you wondering?
Join the community.
And that's why I'm glad I did not touch any details in that. That
Hey.
we'll be good. So we'll look forward to that announcement hopefully in the near future. But then so Nick, we got a couple minutes left. What's next? Any big things happening with you personally? I know you got some speaking events coming up. Any kind of things that you want to share on that?
Yeah, so for me, that's really where I like spending. I love to speak. The first time I ever spoke on stage in a more business setting was in 2016, and it was horrifying. I was petrified. My heart was beating and pounding out of my chest, just boom, 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 boom. You know, I probably shouldn't have had that 5-hour energy. That might have been part of the causes as well. But I wanted to have high energy, you know, like jumping into this. I was 24 and I'm about to jump in front of an audience of most people who are twice my age, 150 plus people. And I have to go up there and speak for 20 minutes, which seemed like an eternity. Now I speak for, you know, an hour and hours, no problem. But I share this because one, it's like, this is my goal, right? Is when I spoke that first time in 2016, I came off that stage and I didn't know how it was going to go. I honestly just wanted the company I was working for to pay me more. They're saying, hey, you know, if I can speak on stage, then they got to pay me more, or it'll help me to advance my career in future situations. But when I spoke, I realized, wow, this is really what I want to do. This is where I belong. And every time that I get on a stage, I'm just reminded of this. Like, this is what I love to do. And right now, you know, I'm focusing on social media and video marketing, but really I see my future in so much more and further. So if you're into personal development, I'll say this, right? Or into that type of content or motivation, that's an element that I bring to what I share a lot on social media. And so even if you don't have a business or don't have a home care business and you're like, oh, social media is okay, and you want to get motivated, I would encourage you to just follow me on whether it's LinkedIn here, Facebook or Instagram. But that's really where I see the potential in making an impact on people's day on a daily basis. Yes, social media and video that does create an impact, but I really want to help people to do more, become better versions of themselves, and be able to achieve their dreams. Because for me, I've been able to do it, and I'm still growing and I'm still learning. But at one point, I dreamt where I was today, dreamt about being a business owner, dreamt about living in San Diego, all these things that, you know, dreamt about traveling the country and speaking at conferences. So I'm living it, and I want other people to be able to do the same, because, you know, we're only on this earth for so long, so we might as well live it well.
No, you're exactly right. And Nick, you've been killing it, moving out to California, following your dreams. And one of my favorite parts about you, Nick, is you're so appreciative of the steps, and you've lived the grind. You've lived, you know, starting everything from the ground up. And it's amazing to see where you are now, to look how far you have come. And I am certainly appreciative of what you've done for our office at Right at Home, and for me as well. Who would have thought that, you know, Bloomsburg University, club baseball, and then moving more towards, you know, the fraternity and things like that.
Yeah, us getting into trouble, you know, and now
I
us
know.
working together.
I know. Oh man. But no, we're having fun. And Nick, I think one of my favorite things I've ever heard you say is there was a time that you've prayed for the things that you have now. And looking back, you know, like you said, you've always wanted to move to San Diego. You've always wanted to own your own business. You've always wanted to, and you're doing that now. And yes, of course, everybody's always looking down the road. Everybody always wants, well, I'm making X amount of money this year. I want to have this, or I want to, you know, I want to down in 2 years, I want to be here. But it's awesome. Just enjoy where you are now. Enjoy the journey that has taken you here. And so it's awesome. It's awesome to have you on, man. Jay, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I appreciate you taking some time, Nick. Definitely good to learn a little bit more. I know Paul's referenced you a few times just in random conversations, so it is good to put, you know, face and video to a name. So it's definitely good there. And just you keep it up, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to checking out what you got. I do a lot with video myself, so I'm definitely always interested in connecting with people that utilize the form. And obviously, you're the we are the digital champions, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what you're all about, man. So thank you again for taking time and spending a little bit with us here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Appreciate the time to share. And I hope that you guys listening found some value and hopefully take some action on the things that we learned so that you can see the benefits and the results.
Awesome. Nick, appreciate the time, man. I know it's 9:30 in the morning for you over there, right? So you got your whole day ahead of you. I have a couple things, and then because it's the afternoon here, but go enjoy that California sunshine, man. Hopefully getting over there to see you soon.
Excellent. Will do.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care, guys.
See ya.